Don't be scared right now. I want everyone to know that the market is going through a big change right now. It's either a fix or a slowdown. We're more interested in how many people will be upset by this new move, though. People who are new to trading or who want to try crypto but are used to investing in stocks and bonds should be very careful with volatility. Things don't change that much in old-fashioned banks. That's why most people aren't used to seeing 10% or more drops in every day. A lot of people who bought crypto last week have sold it this week. Besides that, crypto has not had a good week. I'm going to be honest with you. I know how hard it is to keep going when things get tough. I get it. The price will go through the roof if we want it to. It is normal for prices to change this way before a big market move, though. You could say these are the wipeouts we want to see because they make more money for the move up. On hand around the lows. The daily is still red, as is the weekly, but there are some nice trends here. This is being written down a little early before the market starts. I don't think anything too crazy will happen until September, though. Because of this, price changes will likely be a little less exciting as the week ends. I do think that there will be more upswing soon, so definitely get ready for things to go badly on Sunday. Don't. Also, don't remember what I said about the weekend. You can't depend on how prices change over the weekend. Now is a great time to trick someone, but Bitcoin is down 110 points today, which is almost 4K. Ethereum is still around $4,400. It's not a big drop from last week. XRP is also down to around 2092. It's time for the weekly buy again. XRP fell by 3.3%, Ethereum fell by 4.3%, and Bitcoin fell by 4.3%. It went up by 3.6%. For the month, both Bitcoin and XRP are down. Bitcoin is down 6.6%. Ethereum is down 16.1%, and XRP is down 8.5%, without a doubt. Right now, Ethereum is in charge. Still, that's fine, right? We've talked about it. It's taken care of. The second part, that's it. When we look at the market, we can see how hard this has been. Read this to learn more. The overall value of the crypto market almost reached $4.2 trillion on the 13th. We're back to about 3.76 or 3.8 trillion. In the market, we did lose a lot of money. But, this is just a normal drop before we go up. I think this is very important to remember as we think about the past year. To say it again, moving here is nothing compared to what we've been through. But I want to show you this because this is where our value peaked in December, when it was around 3.72 trillion or 3.7 trillion. In April, we sold everything down to $2.42 trillion. After that, we went all the way up to $4.2 trillion. Between April and now, the value of all cryptocurrencies on the market has almost doubled to $2 trillion. This is brought up again because this wouldn't have happened if there hadn't been such a big flood. Do I think this will keep going for months? Not at all. I think this is a pretty small change. That's what it is. Some people might not see it that way, though. Also, I'd say that influence makes this possible. We've already talked about this, and we'll talk about it some more in this film. But look at how much fear and greed there is. 43. Why does this matter? Once more, 43 is a very small amount. This map doesn't show a low point, but we only look back to June. We're almost at the lowest point in June. Still, it's not quite April. Also, this level is close to October, September, or even August 2024, which is right before that level of greed in November. You're being very greedy by doing this. Once more, this is something you should really pay attention to. I think the best time to look for good buys right now. Chances, and maybe keep a few steady coins on hand. If there is any kind of big wipeout from now on, we could buy it. I do believe that Bitcoin could reach 106K. It's possible, but we'll talk about how low we've already gotten. Around 48. There is also a middle ground between fear and greed for Bitcoin. That's not too crazy. At 59, stocks still have a fear and greed level. If the S&P looks like this, they should be greedy, right? It's great that the S&P is still close to its all-time highs. To look at, the SP will still drop a little more against the all-time highs until it starts to rise again. It will be interesting to see how the market opens today. I think that stock prices will keep going up until September. This is what the price of Bitcoin did after that today. We did reach 108.7 in the last week, which is pretty close to 108K on this chart. Let's look at the daily quickly. That's right. We lost our May high. That's why I think we should test it again between 105.6K and 108K. Bitcoin may have already reached a nice high or low, but I think we could go down a bit before we keep going up. But as Bitcoin heals, it should go from about $105 to $130,000, which will be very interesting. It shouldn't take long. September would be a good month for that to happen. But there's also Ethereum, which is not Bitcoin. Ethereum prices have also dropped to about in the past week, $4,320. It's not a big drop. On Ethereum too, we reached a new all-time high, but prices tend to move in this way. It is going back down to the big highs it has held so far. This goes back to around the 20th. In fact, this is a very good sign for Ethereum's prices. Could we please wake up a little less? There is a chance, but I'd like to see some higher lows stay first. This way, we can build a strategy that is bullish on. Like Ethereum, but with less work. The price may also move up on a longer time frame after that. This will show that the price of Ethereum is going to rise a lot. Things seem to be going crazy right now, even though they've already hit an all-time high. However, we didn't close above the all-time high. Once we do, though, prices will start to move, and Ethereum should start to rise to $5,000 or more. At least $7,000 should be the next big thing for Ethereum. Everyone is interested in XRP, not just Ethereum. Do you want to know? XRP has dropped to about 283 STS in the last week, which was the daily light close. The most important thing to think about with XRP is whether we can keep these daily candle ends above $285. If we do, I'll be very optimistic because the lows are higher again. We only need to get rid of some of these highs. As for the big highs, I think they will be around $3.36. After that, the bullish structure will be fully confirmed on even the longer time frames. This means we can go back to the all-time high of around $3,650 in July. That should put XRP on the way to $4 or more. Besides that, though, most of the market is very scared. Listen, we've thought a lot about some of the comments over the last few days. A big one was that everyone was talking about how Binance has been selling Bitcoin and Ethereum to get rid of longs. It is clear that the market was harmed here. These things are also right in front of us. Bitcoin and Ethereum are being dumped from the Binance hot wallet. You can see it if you zoom in. Yes, pay attention. People who buy and sell longs and shorts make a lot of money. It wouldn't surprise me if these big stores knew about it for years. We know that a lot of them have set plans for how much they will liquidate in 2020 and 2021, for example. Also, remember that a lot of these platforms know exactly how much liquidation you have and can go after it. They are going to get them. The people who run the market will go after them. That makes a lot of sense. In my film from Sunday, I called it market manipulation once more. Still, I think that market manipulation sped up a lot of this move. Spend a lot of money on other things, though. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. I love these big books again. Do not get it wrong. Almost 250,000 people follow this account.